This is Jim Williams with the New Mexico Suncast, and we are located at Think New Mexico up in Santa Fe, right across the street from the Roundhouse. What a nice day in Santa Fe. It's actually a little cloudy. Is it 80 degrees or no?
No, it's not 80.
It's not. Susan Martin is the business manager for Think New Mexico, and I was teasing her before we started here. Business manager means you have to wear all the hats.
Yes, it does mean that I wear a lot of hats. The one hat I don't wear is the policy wonk hat, but I do all the sort of human resources stuff, all the budgeting, the bookkeeping, the coordinating, working with our auditor on the audits. I process all of our incoming gifts and outgoing thank you letters. And since we are now in this beautiful building where we've been for about 2 years, I've also become kind of a property manager.
Because you have other tenants.
Because we have other tenants in the building, exactly. And so all the things about, maintenance and upkeep and so forth sort of falls under my umbrella.
Susan, I was reading your bio on the Think New Mexico, spelled out, thinknewmexico.org website, and I noticed that you have some interest in New Mexico music, art.
So I actually originally came to New Mexico to go to the College of Santa Fe in the theater arts department. And when I first went, I thought that I would like to be an actress because I knew that I loved performing arts. But when I got right into it, I decided that I'm really not kind of a front and center sort of person. I'm really much more comfortable, much more in my wheelhouse, kind of being behind the scenes. And so I switched from being an acting major to being an arts administration major at the College of Santa Fe.
I'm embarrassed to tell you this. Most everybody has heard of the Santa Fe Opera.
Yes.
I have never been.
You haven't been to the opera?
And I'm embarrassed to say that, but I need to. Tell us about your experience with the opera.
I, amazingly enough, finished my undergraduate degree in arts administration and then went on to actually work in the arts for many years. And one of the first jobs I had was in the box office at the Santa Fe Opera. And I did that for a couple of years. And then I became the administrative assistant to the technical director. So I was doing all this same sort of thing, but for the tech department at the Santa Fe Opera. I was doing, some of the HR and personnel stuff and budgeting and bookkeeping and all of that for the technical department. So all the costumes department, the scenery, etc. That was a terrific time, and I actually ended up staying there for quite a few years. I was at the opera, I think, for about 15 years.
That's neat.
And
is that an art form you enjoy?
Really, my first love is the theater as opposed to opera. And opera was a taste I had to develop. But one of the things that really helped me with developing a taste for opera was the subtitling system, which for many years I would go to the operas and watch the opera, but I didn't know what was going on
What they were singing, yeah.
But then the Santa Fe Opera developed and installed this subtitling system, which was these little screens on the backs of the seats in front of you.
Oh, neat.
That would give you the subtitles. And it was a new technology at the time, and I went to work for them as their business manager. And they did installations of this system in the opera houses in Vienna and Milan and Barcelona, among others.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're really good at counting the beans, managing the people, keeping the cats where they're supposed to be.
I'll take that.
What are the challenges to working in the nonprofit sector? Is that quite a bit different than some of the other things you've done?
So actually, I really, from the position where I'm sitting, I don't know how different it is. Other than, the way the companies make their money. But I've not been in the position, like was never the guy that was out there selling something in a for-profit organization or
Sure.
the guy raising the money in a nonprofit organization. For me, I don't think it was all that different.
I love that. Your bio says something about deep web technologies. What was that about? Was that an experience you enjoyed?
Yeah, actually, deep web technologies, they are a company that developed search engine technology. So they were specialized search engines that would be used like by universities for BASF was one of Deep Web's companies. So within their research arm, they had a search. They had search engines, and they were. It was a gentleman who he was. I don't think he was ever actually a lab employee, but he was a consultant up at the labs, and got to know the labs and got to know people at DOE through being at the labs. And so one of Deep Web's first customers was Office of Scientific and Technology, which is a branch of DOE, and Deep Web developed search engines.
And a lot of people don't understand that the national laboratories do shared technologies, and they even sell some things to the private sector for development and those kind of things. I don't know if you ever had to do with any of those business transactions.
Not specifically, no, but we did get research grants from DOE to develop the technology that Deep Web was developing.
Neat.
And then we ended up selling or providing our search engines to different government agencies. So to like Air Force Research Lab down at Kirtland and a couple of other Air Force research labs around the country. It's been a while, so I'm trying to remember, but we did do business with other government agencies, yeah.
Susan, being the business manager for Think New Mexico, there are people watching. We've interviewed most of your staff, and of course we started with Fred Nathan, your founder. I think there's people that would probably be interested in possibly supporting this nonprofit. How do they do that?
To support us financially, the fastest, easiest way is to go to our website, and there is a Donate Now button, and it will take you to an interface where you can make a donation. So there's that, and then the other thing that people can do that's more of a activist sort of approach, particularly during the legislative session, is to get on our email list. And then Think New Mexico during the session, legislative session, will send out several emails over the course of the session encouraging people to contact their legislator and say, and ask their legislator to support whatever bill we're working on. And the interface on our website, or the interface in the email that you get, will help you find your legislator, will direct your comments to your legislator. So.
Well, appreciate all you're doing here at Think New Mexico. I think that a lot of New Mexicans, we hope by us talking about Think New Mexico and all of your staff, we hope that they will use Think New Mexico as a resource as voters.
Oh, absolutely.
and policy makers and so forth, because you guys are putting out a lot of great information. But I want to end the interview with, again, something from your bio. It sounds like it's fun. Tell us about the Amy Hedegar Community Garden and your role there.
I lived in a rural setting up in Espanola for many, many years. And then life happens and things change, and I moved back into town, into Santa Fe. And I had really developed a taste for getting my hands in the dirt and doing some gardening. And I was living in the Casa Solana neighborhood, and the community garden in that neighborhood is the Amy Hedegar Garden. And I was in there for a couple of years, and my very good friend, who was the one that introduced me to the garden, she had been the mayor domo of the garden. So when she left, I kind of stepped in there. And I stepped back from doing that a few years ago. I am fortunate enough to have a home where I can have my garden.
I love it.
At home. And I felt like, well, I should let somebody who doesn't have that have my space. But the community garden, very meaningful to me, made some good friends and grew some good food.
So it's social, it's providing a need. That's kind of neat story. I love it. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
We're grateful for all your work. Thanks.
Thank you.